where do you want to be next year? I mean, we all have to take time to actually sit down and map out where we're going to go. And I don't know if you guys have heard Brian Tracy or not. He's kind of I don't know if you call him a self-help guy or personal development, but he says success is goals, all else is commentary. And I feel like a good way of explaining this is kind of, like a sailboat, right? Like if you're any of you guys have ever been sailing, I mean, you're out on the water, and I mean, if you don't have the sails set properly and adjust for the winds based on that day, I mean, you kind of just, I mean, you won't even go anywhere. And sometimes if you don't adjust the sails accordingly, you're just going to end up, who knows? I mean, wherever, you're just going to float into the into the abyss. But if you have clear goals, for the sailboat metaphor, I mean, it's you know that you can get from point A to point B. I mean, I know this kind of sounds elementary, but a lot of people, I mean, myself included, right? We all get caught up in the day to day. I mean, you guys are keeping track of your technicians, making sure you got equipment, chasing insurance companies down to get paid. So it's just, this is just a reminder to actually step back, take a look at what went well in 2019, but maybe what are your goals in 2020, and then maybe what you need to change to get there. And that way, all right, I'm doing, if you want to do $500,000 this year, like you want to get to $1 million next year, like what are the steps you can take each month to help you get there? And this is kind of a cool Harvard study I wanted to show in here. I love this story, but in 1979, they interviewed a bunch of grads, and so only 3% of these grads that they interviewed had clear written goals and plans to accomplish them. So the interesting part is they followed up, I forgot to put the timeline in here. I think it was like 10 years, 15 years later with these same people. And the 13% of the class who had goals were earning on average twice as much as the other 84 who had no goals. And then the 3% who had clear written goals on average were earning 10 times as much as the other 97%. I mean, that's just, I don't know, it's kind of a cool story. I kind of wouldn't mind reading a little bit more into the details of that. But I mean, this is all we need to know, right? It's important. Write down your goals. Keep them, fresh to where you can, this isn't a once a year thing. I don't believe either. I mean, this is like a, monthly, probably at a minimum, maybe even weekly, right? That way you're focusing on productive tasks and projects to get your business to the next level. You can't just pull it out once a year and then you're like, man, I forgot that was even a goal. So I think even more powerful can be writing them down with the plans to accomplish them, and then checking back on those plans to make sure you're heading in the right direction. So I mean, you guys can kind of tweak this as you want, but I think a good starting framework for this is to kind of set your 2020 goal. If it's $1 million, divide that by 4, 250, and then divide that by 3 to get your monthly revenue. And then you could go ahead and put on your calendars like, hey, let's at the end of Q1 go ahead and pick a 3-hour block or whatever it is on your calendar. Like, hey, let me check in on my goals, see how we did, what we did well, what we need to adjust. And if you go ahead and put that on your calendar, it's a lot harder to forget to do it. I mean, that's personally, I have to do that myself, right? Because we all have a million pieces of paper, a million notes on our phones. We're getting calls, emails, texts, notifications all day, every day. It's hard just to think about, let me check on my goals today, unless you actually put it in the calendar. There's a saying that's, I can't remember the whole quote, but basically it's like once it gets scheduled, it's real. Other than that, it's just a thought, an idea. It doesn't mean anything until you put it on the calendar and you do it, right? So that's just one way you can look at it, obviously. Some of you guys might have your own method that you've used over the years that works for you. So just, continue with that if it works. But, I kind of already touched on this. So think about, hopefully you grabbed a pen or paper, or you have like a Word doc open on your computer. Go ahead and put on like, what would you like to do next year? And then divide that out by 12. And then, divide that by, what your average transaction value is. Then, how many jobs that you'll need. And then how many leads would lead to that many jobs. Well, I'll kind of show you guys an example here in a second. So let's say you want to do 1.5 next year. That'd be 125,000 per month. let's say your average, I mean, this is kind of more for the water damage people on here, but I typically, every market's different, right? But anywhere from 3 to 5,000 seems to be the average job size. Probably closer to 3 to 35 in most markets. So that would mean 35 jobs a month is what you need to do starting January next year to hit 1.5 next year. So the next question is, how many leads do you need? Right? It's like, okay, we know we need 35 jobs, but okay, how many leads will get us there? So what is your average conversion rate? And then once a lot of times we see from anywhere 70, 90%. Sometimes it drops as low as 50. Just kind of depends on what kind of leads and jobs the client wants to get. But I'm assuming most of you guys are pretty good, or your office staff are pretty good at closing the leads that come in. This is a good thing in our industry. A lot of it is high urgency, emergency situations, right? Like people don't shop around for a restoration company quite as much as they do for a new roof, right? So that's the beautiful thing, and our conversion rates are a lot higher than a lot of other industries. So that's awesome. So here's an example. Let's just say you convert 7 out of 10. You get 10 leads, you'll land 70% of them. So if you need 35 jobs a month, divided by 0.7, you need 50 leads a month. And I think arithmetic is not my strong point, but I think if that's 50 divided by 30, I mean you probably need, I don't know, one to two ish. Actually it's probably around 1.5 a day would be the average. I mean, obviously we know that fluctuates, especially in our industry too, right? You might get 4 in a day based on the weather patterns. Did it freeze at night? Did a hurricane come through? Was there a wildfire out in California? I mean, there's so many variables, right? But on average, you need to average out around a 1.5 a day.
Hope you got value out of that video. If you're looking for more ideas and strategies for better ways to market your water, mold, or fire damage restoration business online, you can go to restorationmarketinggroup.com, and there we have a free checklist you can download. It's called the Ultimate Online Marketing Guide for Damage Restoration Contractors. And there you'll be able to get the latest strategies that are working now to really increase your lead flow online. You could probably even 5 to 10x the number of leads you're getting per month from internet marketing. So there should be a link below, restorationmarketinggroup.com, and there you can download the checklist for free of charge. And we'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks.